Hello everyone. Hello. I'm a bit late today. I had some stuff to do. Yeah. Yup. So okay. Okay. I can do this. I can do this. Hula hula. Yeah, I'm a bit late, but we can do this. Okay, I think I'm ready. It's 5 o'clock. Well, yeah, it's 5 o'clock. Hello. Hee. Hello everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever. And yeah, we have a picture of the day. Are you hula in any of these pictures? Maybe you are, right? Maybe you are in some of these pictures. No? It's possible. It was like the time when you were playing, I guess. Okay, so what do we have to do? We have to complete the transition to the new Unreal Engine input enhanced system. And the reason we have to do this is because without it, our minigame is kind of hard to use. And our character is basically moving while he should not, and the inputs is all messed and such, right? So we have to finish this transition, which anyway is a good transition, so will help us in the future. So it's a transition that we will have to make anyway, right? One day. So better to do it now that we have the need than later, right? And this will also bring some new possibilities. So I guess the point is we need to change in our settings window the way we manage inputs, right? And the way we allow the player to remap keyboard input. So our goal is that this is now working with the new system. This is our goal. So what I was seeing, right, is that you can get all mappable action items, or you can get only some, a specific one, right? And in our case, we have a window that is already specifying all the values. And so, it's explicit, right? Because it is built explicitly. So unless we can group them and we can do it more parametric, I think we should just call out each single, right? Each single element. And I wanted to do it with fishing first. So here we have mouse, actions, interface, and axis, right? And I think what we want to have a similar block, right, for fishing minigame, right? So what we will have to do, we will have to do what I was testing there. So we have fish cast line, fish exit. And then we have the four movement, right? Bobber up, bobber down, bobber left, and bobber right. Okay, so these are our four let's say 4 plus 2, right? Okay, so this is extracting pretty much all the keys. And then here I have, okay, so did we add already? No, variables, okay, no, I'm saying, no, we only added cast at the moment. We only added cast. You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking if I should make, you know, a new control which is actually made of those three pieces, and we actually make a widget and we reuse the widget. Because I mean, if I have to change this, right, in the future, I'm going to go crazy because I have to change like 40 lines. While if I create a widget, you know, which includes, well, the difference is that the input should be sitting probably in another row. Yeah, there is a bit of a problem that this is sitting in a column. There is column 0. There is column 0. And this is column 3. So if I create a widget, it's not really going to work actually. Also, I'm not completely sure why this is saying row 7, right? This should be row 1. Row 1, row 1, row 1. Okay, now it should be better. Yeah, because if I create a single widget, so if I create a single widget, can I then span the columns of the containing grid? No. Okay, fuck it. That's fine. Now the only problem is that this is long, right? It is kind of long. Because I have to create, I mean, for each one, right, I need to create for each one I need to create these 3 blocks, right? And it's not very simple to duplicate them all in one step, right? Because if I multi-select, probably I can do copy paste on the grid. Yes, that works. Okay, well that's faster then. That's a bit faster. Because I can copy. The only thing I have to remember is that I have to change the row number. So all these 3 become row number 3. Exactly. And then I can copy them in blocks, right? I can do copy, paste. Pull down is not a very great term, but anyway. Because you cannot really pull down with a... I think it should be more like release, right? Yeah, release or... let's call it release. When you use the down when... when it's going... Yeah, I need to decide what names we should give to this. Yeah. Anyway. I think the names may be different from what we see now. So it is row 4. And then we copy paste again. It is row 5. And this will be pull left. And then this will be pull right. Okay, this is just a kind of a test, but actually is what we need, right? It's exactly what we need. So this is row number 5. This becomes row number 6. Okay. So basically now we have defined buttons for each of these things. And so basically I need to do the same. So I have to do this for each. Yeah, I mean, repeating this all time, I don't know if it's really the greatest idea. No. Isn't the same? Key structure. So I don't have to go through this anymore. Okay, that's nice. So this is fish cast, right? Okay. So basically I have to do this for each one. Right? We have to do the same for each. And this will just be this, I guess. And I mean, alignment is always important. And then I just connect this guy, right? So this in theory should tell us what are the keys associated to each. Yeah, let's see if this actually does something, because I don't know. But I think it should, because he will read it. I think he will read it from the enhance the input, right? Assuming that that is already associated to our player controller from the beginning. That's a good question. I think we assign it only inside PS character. Ay. Now it is a problem though, because if I have no mini game, no, it is a problem. No, there is a problem, guys. We don't need to get. We don't need to get the mappings that are active, right? We have to get all the mappings. With your pet, Yuki the Great? Yeah, could be. I don't know. Did you recognize him, or was it in the picture or not? Because this, I think this will give us only, so I think this will be empty, unfortunately. Let me try, but I think it will be empty. Because we assign the keys later on, unless the system is smarter than I think, and so is reading the default somehow, but I don't think so. Because our get is doing a get key mapped to action, right? In the active input mapping context, right? In the active input. I don't need it in the active input. I need it in a specific input. Ah, I can select it even if it's not loaded. I don't understand why it's not just querying all the... I mean, I have to select each one, or if this is null, is returning me all of them. Holy moly, the music! Uh-oh, I cannot switch. What happened? What the hell? It broke. We broke it. It doesn't compile or what? I guess it doesn't compile, yeah. Doesn't compile because I don't have the input. Okay. Fine. I understand. And he's actually right, as usual. I don't know, I'm thinking, guys, if because there must be a way, right? You should not be able only to map the keys that are active on your character at that given time. You want to be able to map also the ones that are temporarily offline, but that will be used later on, right? I don't know if I'm doing this right, actually. But I guess we will find out very soon. And in theory, I don't even need the server, right? I only need the client, because... But this will probably return empty, 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 as it is now. Perhaps, but not sure. Why I did this? I don't have to log in. Come on, timeout. Thank you. So if I go under settings control, right, you see that now you have a section that is called fishing minigame. But all of this is empty, right? All of this is empty. And the reason is empty is because at the moment we are reading from the currently assigned keys, right? But so how do I change that? Because I need to change that on the fly, right? So if I get, let's assume that I get this, and probably this now will be correct, right? So if I get the mapping query issue structure. What the hell is that? Blocking action. What? What? I didn't save this. Great. No, there is something that is not. I don't understand what I'm looking at. I don't understand what I'm looking at actually. It should be this one. Yeah, it should be this one. Query map key in context set, right? Why the fuck is returning this and is not returning a key? Because the key is given here. Why? Doesn't make any sense. I need to read a mapping context and write down the currently assigned keys to that context, even if it's not active, because my minigame will start later, right? It doesn't start immediately. So I want to set up my context for future usage. Unless a context can be disabled, then I mean, can be active but disabled, then fine. Can I add a context but keep it disabled? I mean, I can change the priority. Hello, Matic. So I can use the priority and so load it anyway, and then with the priority it will not clash. It's pretty stupid though. I mean, it's fairly stupid. So I have a, I don't know why this is so hard, right? So I have a set of keys. Well, I think I printed this already. Yeah, exactly. I have a number of mapping contexts, right? And I have a number of mapping contexts, right? So like one is for move, another is for the user interface, another is for the quick bar, blah, 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 blah. And then there are some that exist only when I enter a specific minigame. Right? So when I enter the dice minigame, I have a certain set of rules. And when I enter the fishing minigame, I have another set of rules. Rules meaning keys, right? So now that kind of works because we have seen that I can I can add the new context menu, right? I can add the context mapping, right? When my minigame starts. And actually we do that with this add mapping context, right? We say add mapping context, fishing, and now the keys that are defined inside this mapping are actually properly working, right? But I need to be able, right, in the settings window to say which are the keys that are currently assigned to the fishing minigame, even if it's not active yet. Because it's not active, it will be only active when I'm fishing. So why this thing is so stupid that it doesn't have a way to read the mapping without making it active? That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. I mean, there must be a way, right? I mean, this function looked like it was the right function. Query map key. I'm querying a map key, right? In context set, but whatever, is asking the key as an input instead of having the key as an output. Because what I wanted to ask, okay, in this context, fishing, what is the key associated to this action, right? But no, it's asking me this shit is asking me the key. What the hell? You stupid. Are you completely stupid? Can I see the C++ of that, please? Come on, you can do it. I believe in you. He's saying reading C++ symbols, but he's not opening the thing. Even if my editor is connected. Yeah. Why? Can you do it here? No. Can you do it here? Yes. So some he can do, other he cannot do. I don't know why. Query key map. Query key mapped to action. So this function is that function, right? Yeah, but it's using the current player input. How can you make a setup menu if you have to load them all, right? So imagine you have a game for sports, right? Well, I don't know, you can ski, you can snowboard, you can bike, you can go on a bike, you know, you can go on a motorcycle. So, and obviously every vehicle, right, has a different set of mapping contexts, right? But somewhere in the setup menu, you have to set them up, right? You have to set them up. I don't understand why. I mean, our input context is this, right? Input context, right? Input context. So here I'm giving him a static input context, right? That is defined. Your bike would come with a mapping variable, and when you mounted it, you'll be added to the current mapping. I believe this could work with priority. When you dismount the bike, you remove said mapping from the player. Yeah, but removing and adding mapping to the player, it works, right? I tested it already, and it's fine. The problem that I have a setting menu, right, which is global, right? It's generic for all our keys, like every game has. right? And I also have the keys for the fishing minigame. So imagine riding the bike, right? And I want to see here what are the currently assigned fishing keys, even if I'm not fishing, right? Even if I'm not fishing. Because I'm not fishing at the moment. So this mapping is not associated to my player. Or I can associate it anyway with a lower priority, but it seems to be pretty stupid. I mean, it seems that this function, right, query map key in context set, actually is able to read from an input context. But that input context is not in memory, right? So it's just an asset. It's just an asset with the default values. I think until you load it and associate it somehow. This is very stupid, but there must be a way. I cannot believe they didn't think to this. So it's impossible. I mean, it's impossible. I think I'm missing something because it's not possible. So there is the standard guide, right, on an answer input. So what I want to see is basically, so all of this we did already, right? We did already the mapping context, okay, whatever. The thing that we didn't do is the input modifiers. This we didn't even read, I guess. Ah, yes, they were the, okay, these are the ones that can change, can alter the raw input values. Okay, so like if you have a mouse and you want to go, the mouse to go slower or faster, you can add a modifier. But it is not what I need, right? Mappable configs are a collection of input mapping contexts that represent a config or preset of mappings. For example, you can have a default and a southpaw mappable config that all different input mapping contexts for aiming. You can use this config to predefine a set of contexts, prioritize and add them at once. Mapping provide. So I think the only thing, I think what I need, I just need my mapping context to be active or not active. So that's, so I need all my mapping contexts to be available in the setting menu, but then I need to swap them active or inactive, you know, at a later time. Shit. It is all deprecated. It is all the deprecated stuff, so. That is all the deprecated stuff. I mean, I can extend it, but I mean, I can change it. But it's a bit weird that it doesn't do it by default, right?
Hey guys, in this video I'm going to be going over where YouTube comes up, so I thought, but without the enhanced input. If you're not, this won't help you. But assuming you are, then you'll need to go to your project settings and make sure that you check this enable user settings experiment.
Do we have an enhanced input? Yeah, there is actually a section here that I didn't even look. Default mapping context. Array of any input mapping context you want to be applied by default to the enhanced input local player subsystem. Okay. This is a bit better in the sense that I can say, okay, so I can say here that by default I want, yeah, but they are applied with priority or they are applied, okay, so it's the same, so I can just select and okay, so it's just a utility thing, right? So you just put them here, but it's the same as if you add them, right, manually in the begin play of your player controller. It's pretty much the same. Let's say it's a bit cleaner because you see it here, but right, so I could add mine here, but my problem is that, okay, so I think the only way is to work with the priority. The only problem with the priority is that if you have a key that is actually not mapped by anything else and so it's not overridden, then it will actually work, right? So let's say that I have my priority 0, right? I have my priority 0, my fishing stuff, right? Where I have escape and then I have WASD, right? And then I have my priority 1, which is like my main movement, right? My main movement class. And here I only have the WASD, right? So in theory I will, and here I have, I don't know, the C for casting the line. So my point is that yes, I can load them all, right? I can load them all at the start. But then if I press escape and I'm not in the fishing minigame, right, this thing will still trigger because it's not overridden by a higher priority. Unless I put like an escape here that does nothing. I mean, I can, right? I can do it. But that is extremely annoying, right? While I would like just to have this available for remapping but not active, right? So this should be available for remapping but not active. And I don't get how it is possible that they didn't think about it. That is so stupid. How do I easily deactivate an input key? Well, this guy wants to deactivate a single key, I guess. But yeah, but it kind of makes sense anyway. And user 9 seems to simply disable a key only when I am a trigger. There's some. The game starts when I click the button F to activate the bullet through, but when I want to be able to bullet start the trigger with the monster on the triangle, I can only work outside the trigger. My main goal is to press F to start an animation. I'll see a way to deactivate. This guy is saying the better option instead of trying to enable disable is to modify your logic. The input should be available because in the concept of a game is a valid input. But you only say only when inside a trigger point. Yeah, exactly, right? The simplest way is to set a variable on the overlap you have done. And inside the input action, check the variables will have no complete action isolated branch. The way you can hit the key you want will only execute based on your over. Yeah, I understand. So he's doing it the opposite way, right? Instead of enabling and disabling the input inside the trigger of the game, is checking if that action is valid. But I don't know if I like that. No, this article is not really. Why no one is having this problem? Why no one is having this problem? Because there is a solution, or because nah, we are going down. I mean, when I press escape, right? And the escape is part of the fishing minigame. I can check if I'm fishing or not. Which is not really what I wanted to do, but I think I can do it this way, right? I mean, if there is no standard way of doing it, right? You press escape and it is not catched by this. So it goes here. And when you enter into the escape, which is my fishing exit, which basically goes here. I can check, right? I can check if I am actually fishing. If I'm not fishing, I'm just going to ignore it. I mean, I can do that. I can do that. The problem is for the other keys, because imagine someone is modifying the keys so that for fishing you have, instead of WASD, right, you have, I don't know, QASD, right? So then the Q will actually trigger, right? So basically for every mapping I need to do the check, am I fishing? Right? Which is super annoying. Instead of just disabling the world mapping so that it's not active. It's so brain dead. I cannot believe they didn't do it this way. I cannot believe there's no way. There must be a way. There must be a way to say, because okay, their answer would be easy. Just remove it, just remove the mapping, right? Just remove the mapping. And remove the mapping is a very good idea, except for the setting panel. Because if in the setting panel I have no way to read the non-active, right? To read the non-active, then how can I do it? That's completely stupid. Get query keys map to action, okay? Query key map to action. Yeah, which is this one, right? And I can do that, but this is working only for the active input mapping context. Only for the active. I think I need to add an enable and disable. I mean, it would be so easy, right? It would be so easy to have an enable and disable on the mapping context, right? What do you mean you cannot find? Coding assistance is not available because third-party and plugins are excluded from indexing. So this is a... There is a plugin. There is a plugin. By default, they don't index for cross-reference. Which may be a good idea, actually. But... What is the definition? I'm just searching the definition of this. Please. Can do this. Ah, I found it. Okay, the fuck. It doesn't have it doesn't have an enable and disable, which is ridiculous. Which is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, if you want, we can extend it. I mean, I can just add, you know, I can modify this and I can just say enable, disable, and I can even expose it to blueprints if I want. And then we create two functions, enable and disable, and so we load them in, right? We load it in, but we keep it disabled, and then whenever, now the only problem will be the query system, right? Because when it's querying for keys, we have to be sure that it's only considering the enabled ones, right? But I mean, unless there is something smart like priority -1 or whatever, right? So I don't know if there is something hidden. I can search that, but like when it's doing the query key, well, not even, because I mean here I will do wait a sec, because here I'm doing it by name, right? So in reality, the key press, the key press is this, right? Hey Mathematic. Link is not allowed. I was able to get a key assigned to a single action. Already all key assigned to that action. Okay, but how does it relate to the problem? I mean, we can assign a key, right? So you assign the keys to an action in the mapping context, right? So you have a mapping context. Inside a mapping context, you assign, for example, C to cast fishing line. Right, so this is how you assign it. So I'm saying that no, because the problem stays pretty much the same actually, right? Because okay, let's imagine that we have an enable disable, right? If we have an enable disable, let's say that we modify the source code, right? And we add an enable and disable, right? But the problem stays similar, because when I'm here and this is getting triggered, right? This one does not know if that mapping context is disabled or enabled. So I think my question is, how can the engine know? So how is the engine going from the key that you press on your keyboard to this node? Right? Enhanced input action. Right? So this is the thing. That is the thing that is searching or adding when yeah, you see, it probably does this thing, right? It does a kind of a is automatically generating a CPP name by the binding with the binding name. So I think it is probably what it's doing. And it's doing it by the action name. I mean, to me, it's very annoying to load them all, right? To load them all and not being able to say that one is disabled. I mean, that's super annoying. That's like insanely annoying. Let me see if in Unreal Engine 5.5 there is any new. Can I search in this page, please? No, I cannot. GG. Why Control F is doing something else in this page, huh? No, I can't. This was just some people rambling about. I don't know if in 5.5 they added something more, but I don't know if anyone else had this issue, but after I moved from 5.5, I started having issue with enhanced input plugins. Specifically, trying to add input mapping context to new pawn. I couldn't find this solution when I was searching for it. I managed to solve by searching through the project setting, finding a random part of the plugin, but observed to add my context.
Hey everyone, my name is Quinn Cusledge.
7 minutes!
Trying to make all of our
Are you stupid? 7 minutes.
The event graph. I would first enable input, so I basically get the player controller. I enable input on it.
7 minutes, bro.
Basically, you just click the little keyboard and you hang my... Basically, what's happening is the input mapping context is not getting any information from Unreal and from my controller or my keyboard. And this was where I was stuck, and there was literally nothing to help me fix this, and it was super frustrating. So basically what I did is I went into project settings and I just started searching up inputs. And when I type in enhanced input, I go down here where it says default mapping context. And I can see that they've got the mapping context for the default pawn, the hands, the menu, the weapons in the basic VR template. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll just add mine. So I'm gonna...
So you see that they basically add them all, right? So this guy said that this is the default. So by default, they basically added the mapping context no matter what, right? For example, weapon left and weapon right which probably are available only when you have a weapon equipped, right? They're still used, right? Is this part of the Lira example or what? Do we have the Lira example anywhere, or should we download it and see it a second before going further in our investigation? Because someone suggested me that Lira has by the way, is there any new free games? Let me see. Free game. Brotato. What is brotato? Is a potato bro? I like brotato. What is brotato? It's the typical. Okay, I know this type of game. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, it's free. We can get it. We can play to brotato. Probably will never happen, but anyway. Since it's free, we can get it. What is the launcher trying to update? What are you updating? Fortnite? I didn't play Fortnite in like 5 years. But anyway, updated. So if I go under, if I go here, right, and we download again, I don't know if they updated Lira or Lyra, I want to call it. Where is where is Lyra thingy? I think it was under market, no? But market now doesn't exist anymore. It's Fab, and Fab now is in a browser. And now Lyra starter game. I don't know if they updated it or not. But I assume they did. I really hope they did. Supported engine version 5055. Last update. Wow. November 24. Oh, that's very nice. So probably this one they keep it updated. Okay. Let me I think I have it already, but huh? Unreal Engine files are available in the Epic Game Launcher. Bro, I was in the Epic Game Launcher a second ago, but I couldn't find this Lyra thingy. I have it here. No, I don't. Now I do. Okay. Select engine version. Yeah, we should go 5.4 because we have 5.4 at the moment. Or our project is based on 5.4, so I cannot go more than that. Do it. Space Invader. No, it's a shooter. It's a shooter game, and is the default example that is actually replacing the old shooter game example. Oh my god, it's cute because now there is Fortnite still updating. What is Fortnite doing? I don't need to update Fortnite. .540 installing? Is it installing another version of 540? I don't think with 4 gigabytes. I think 4 gigabytes is only the Lyra project, probably. Well, let's see. I want to open it up and see their settings. And maybe we can play a bit with it, because, you know, the idea of having the weapon, right? Of having the weapon with some keys. The only problem is that I think that for them is easier, right? Because they say, oh, there is this weapon key and it's always valid. In our case, it's not always valid. It's valid only sometimes, right? When you are playing the dice minigame, the fishing minigame, or maybe in the future, the lock-picking minigame, right? So you may have completely different keys for each minigame, right? Just because you... Or we can default to the standard movement system, but is exactly why I created a new mapping, to avoid messing up with the existing movement system. I don't know if he really downloaded a new Unreal Engine. I hope not. Okay, now we have it. Now we have it. Let's go and find it. So we put it in M. By the way, my M drive, I don't know if my M drive is in good shape. Let me see. My M drive is in reasonable. Yeah, it's reasonable. No, there is G. Yeah, G, M2. Yeah, M is the name. Okay, projects, Lyra starting game. Okay, should I close my... Well, probably not. Yeah, but for the setting panel, you know, I really need all the mappings to be on. Okay, so I think the final solution is add all the mapping context at the beginning, and then whenever you are pressing a key inside the action mapping, just say, am I fishing, yes or no? And if you are not fishing, you're just ignoring the key, right? But you have to do it manually for each of the key. Well, for each of the mappings, right? For each of the action mapping, yeah. Which is okay. I mean, it's not insane, right? Is doable. I was just hoping for a smarter way. Like enable, disable. Oh my god, we are compiling shaders. GG. GG compiling shaders. 7,000. Okay, give me a second. I'm going to do something while this is compiling shaders, okay? I will be right back. Like 5 minutes. I don't know how much it will take. 3 minutes. Bye. You will see my face, but Okay, I'm back. It's still compiling. It's still compiling shaders. Wow. Wow. Compiling shaders. Well, it's nearly done though. I see at 20. So it is nearly done. Come on. 20. Can you go to 19, please? It's still 20. He's staying at 20. Go, go, go. Go, go, go. Meanwhile, do you want to see a beautiful graph of our development from January 17 to today? Look. There is a beautiful graph, 3D graph, of our file structure in Unreal Engine across the years. You see, it is July 18. Okay. July 18, August 18, September 18. Look at the material, texture, meshes, grass, master material, arena corridor, hide la plaza. That is me, you see. That is me running around. That is me running around. You see? That's my name. Running around. There are a few other people running around, like Zwei. Or maybe there is Tua somewhere. They are working on the code base, right? This is our code base. Boom! Look at that. Look at that check-in. Boom! We added 1 million. Boom! Look at that. Oh my god. Who was that? Oh, I think that was Way. That was Way, probably. That added like a major thing here. I think he added plants. Yeah, there is Zwei. Zwei adding a bunch of assets. Now he's going here now. He's going to the maps. Also Tua is going to be to the map. Tua was fixing some of the maps. And I'm still here working on the engine, right? I'm here working on the engine. And yeah, other people are working here. I work here as well, as you can see. Boom, I did like major check-in. Oh my god, look at this. Boom, 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 boom. Fantastic, eh? You like that? Very nice. Okay, let's check this Lyra thingy. What? Wasn't there a character or something? Ah, you can decide the elimination, control, front end, main menu of the game. Yeah, let me see the main menu of the game actually. Options, right? Can we go in a window? Wait, can we go in a full window? So that I don't have to go crazy. Okay. Let me see the main menu that they have to see if they can configure the keys. Right? Options. Gameplay, mouse and keyboard. Fantastic. Let me just lower this volume. There is like, let me put it at 0. We don't need to. Mouse and keyboard. Do they have the FPS limit? Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I want just to limit the FPS to 30 so that the stream works properly. This thing is not taking over. Okay, default experiences, right? Move forward. You can put 2 different keys. Okay. So they have the WASD here. They have the weapon fire. Shooter core. Throw grenade, Q. Yeah, for example, right? So, for example, throw grenade. If you don't have a grenade, right? Or melee. Well, the problem is that I think that all of this is available at all time. That I think is the issue. Wow, this thing is so complex. Can I just get into the game? Okay. Who's that guy running? Is a bot? Holy shit. Could be. So you see, the problem is that the grenade I have always, right? So it's not very good actually. Okay, now I have another weapon. But I think the other weapon is doing nothing else than just I mean, you can just click it normally like any other weapon, I guess. Are these people players or are these people bots? They are killing me like I mean, I just want to test the weapon. But I guess I need to kill this guy before who's shooting me? That guy? Eliza, kill them all while I get the weapon. Okay, so now I have this other weapon in theory. So if I press 2 maybe I have the other weapon, right? I don't understand where are the enemies at the moment, but fine. There is one there, yeah. There's one there that seems to see me at all time. It disappeared. Holy shit. Okay, but apart from this, okay, so what we can check project settings, right? Project setting. Oh wow, they have additional menus just for Lyra. But anyway, input, enhanced input, right? Enhanced input. Enhanced input. Default mapping context. They don't have anything here. Strange. So they didn't add any mapping context to this. Okay, do they have any IMC? Oh fuck, they don't. They don't? Oh no, they do. Why I didn't find it when I search IMC? IMC. But it seems that they only have one IMC. That's too easy, right? That's too easy. So they have only one IMC with all the controls in it. That's too easy. Okay, GG guys. They don't have an example that does what we want. So, fine. So I think we will work with priority. I think it's the only way. Oh, by the way, it crashed. Interesting. I think we will work with priorities. I think it's the only way. So, okay. So how do we do this thing? So then we will not even add and remove contexts, right? I mean, it's kind of pointless to add and remove. We will keep them on the whole time. I mean, it's a bit silly, but it is a bit silly, but I don't have another way. So I think in the player controller begin play at this point, right? In the player controller begin play, but we do it only for we don't even have a begin play. We don't? Wow. We don't have a begin play on player controller. Fine. Does... Okay, it exists. Now, do we want to do it only client-side? Yes, we said we want to do it only client-side, right? Because that is completely used. So if we can say... So we add the default mapping now. What is the priority? What is the priority we want to have? So we said that the higher priority mapping will be applied first. The higher priority mapping will be applied first. Which is super annoying because if I add a new mapping, I have to move everything. Fuck it. Okay, but anyway, we can start with 100 then. I mean, my movement and but this is the problem then. The problem is that if I make it 100, it will actually win over the minigame. Nah, that is so stupid, bro. How can I have this working properly? How can I have this working properly, bro? I don't understand. So I have my default movement, my dice minigame, my fishing minigame, right? So if I say that my movement is 100 and my dice is, I don't know, 50 and my fishing is 30, that is already wrong, right? Because these two may happen. But anyway, if I do this, I will never catch these two guys. I will never catch these two guys because this priority 100 will always win. If I do the opposite, that this is one and this one win first, and then right? I mean, unless I keep them all the same priority and then they all trigger. I don't know. I hope that they all trigger, because if they don't all trigger, then we are in trouble. But it is completely stupid, boys. It would have been so easy to just have an enable and disable. So easy to have an enable and disable mapping. So easy. They are ordered anyway. So they are ordered. So if you add a 3 and they all have the same key, it will only call 1. Which is ridiculous. I don't know if I'm not understanding something, or is really that broken, right? I don't know if I'm missing something or is really that broken. It is fairly complex anyway. I think they are still partially supporting the old, you know, the old player mappings, and so they have to do some. Yeah, but basically what they are doing, right? They have a context. The context contains a number of keys. They are putting all those keys in the player mapping, and then they are reordering everything by priority, right? So there is this, we have seen it, yeah, this thing, value sort, right? So they are sorting by priority. I mean, we can test it, but I'm pretty sure it does what I'm thinking it does. So if you add all the three mappings and then you press a key, this will not trigger all three, right? It will only trigger one. Select and context menu, right? Yeah. So I think this will not work this way. Maybe we can try it on the simple phishing test, because I think it's easier. I think it's easier. Instead of going with our full project, right, which is kind of complex. Now the only problem is that here I don't think we have are we still possessing the phishing actor here? I think we are. Yeah, we are. So let me do this 1 second, right? Let me try to say that we have two mapping context, right? Because at the moment here we don't, but let's do it. Let's do it in 1 second. Right? So let's create another IMC, and we call it, I don't know, weapon IMC. right? And weapon IMC will have fish cast line with another key. For example, V. Okay. So now the question is, no, but this case is fine because this case will call V or C and it is not overlapping. Our problem is when the key is overlapping. Yeah, when we have another action. Yeah, okay. So let's create another, is the opposite that I need. So this one will be AI IA actually. This will be shoot weapon, right? Shoot weapon. And shoot weapon will be a Boolean trigger pressed or released is the same. Pressed and released. Let's do both. Pressed and what? No, not the modifier. The trigger. Yeah, pressed and released, right? And the action description will be shoot weapon. Okay. And now in my second IMC, which is called weapon, I will have that one. I will have shoot weapon. And I want shoot weapon to actually trigger with C, right? Which is the same key that we use for casting the line, right? So now in my fishing actor, I want to add a new mapping context, right? And I want to add a mapping context called weapon, right? And the priority is the same, priority is 0. So now the point is where target is this, okay. Right? So now the point is, if in my fishing actor I add my new you can have more than one. Okay, fine. Yeah, it's fine. So if I have this, right? And on the started, I print out something, whatever. I print out shoot weapon, right? I print out shoot weapon. And now I do this. I go F. Okay, let me remove this breakpoint because we don't really need it. And now I press C. I didn't get shoot weapon. Right? I didn't. But if I say that this is priority 1 and this is priority 0 and then I do it again, now I will see only shoot weapon. Exactly, you see? Now I see only shoot weapon. So basically what this is saying is that if I activate them both, one will take precedence over the other. And so yes, at that point I will be able to put in my setup all the keys, but I will not be able to have them both working. So there is not a solution. I'm like super surprised that no one has this problem. I cannot believe that the world does not have this problem. So, or I didn't understand it. I think I didn't understand it because it's impossible. It's absolutely impossible.
Hey everyone, what's up? Now I press H and the character jumps. Also, this persists across multiple playing sessions, meaning it will be saved. So let's dive right in. I've set up a first-person we'll create.
These people are only having example with a single context.
It's next.
In a single context is super easy because you just read all the mappings, right? So you always have it registered. What is this thing? Is mapping context registered? Returns true if this mapping context is currently registered with the settings. Wait a second. Wait a second. What is this register input mapping context? Wait a second. Register input register this mapping context with the user setting. This will iterate all the key mappings in the content and create the initial player mappable key for every mapping that is marked as mappable. Huh? What is the difference between add mapping context and register? Huh? 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 What?
Next, let's create our widget. Are registered, then check port to get it past selected. After you've done this, open the first-person player. Inside here, get the enhanced input user settings. Check if the mapping contexts are registered, then check IMC default here and create a branch. If it's not connected, we want to register a custom input mapping context.
What? What is this?
This maps all the necessary keys to the character.
What do you mean? What do you mean? It's not true. I mean, the add is working perfectly. You do add, and is mapping that.
Next, let's create our widget. In the content folder, create a new folder named widgets.
Is this register doing what I need?
Let's call it WB settings.
Which
Open
means adding that
panel inside.
to the settings and not to the active. That will be the solution,
Add
boys.
a vertical
That will be the
box and a small
solution.
text to label it as
That will be the
settings.
solution. This is the solution.
Let's
If this
work
is
on
real,
opening
this is the
widget inside
solution.
game. Head back to the first person blueprint. Inside here, get open mapping. Since we have a trigger with press and release, we want to get from the completed. Then check if it's valid here or the valid. And hide cursor and connect it with the new created branch. If the need a scroll box inside here and then close system. And we promote.
I think this may be it. So I can register without adding. So let's say that I don't add, okay? I don't add anything. But I register my input mapping context phishing.
Promoted to a variable called user settings. Current key mappings. Access. If it's valid, and then we get the current profile.
Get current key profile. What?
Which represents the player's current key mappings. Access the player mappings and extract them. From the values we
What? Pa pa para pa pa pa. Can I do a for each on this, please? No, I cannot. Why? Ah, because we have to do values. I think it is the solution. I think this is the solution to our problem.
make a for each loop. Inside here, break the key mapping rows and promote them to an array. What we're doing here is we're going to all the mapping rows from the player. Then from the to array, we want to have for each loop with break. Break the player key mapping row.
Why? This is so weird. I never seen this. A set of wildcards?
And as you can see, we have here all our set the first slot. So when we found the first slot, we promote it to a variable.
The first slot.
And we break from here.
What is the first slot?
Then from the completed, we create a new widget.
What slot this key is mapped to? What? Let me execute it this way 1 second and see what we get. Uh, register input mapping context. Enhanced input player, enhanced input local player, enhanced input local player subsystem. Get enhanced input user setting.
And we BB settings ref.
Sorry, where was the
The
register
trigger with press
thingy?
and release. Next, let box folder named widgets.
It was here, and the register was here. Get enhanced input user setting. Get enhanced input user setting. So this register is actually going on this. Okay. I see. He really complained. He didn't like it. He's saying that it is not valid. Basically saying that that's not valid. Get user setting return value. I think it's this, right? It's actually null. How is it possible then? Is mapping context registered? But I think we are stopping before that. I think we are stopping before this. Fuck. I think you already complained. Yeah. You already complained. So why this is not working for me? Why is working for this guy is not working for me? He's doing it on the character. I'm doing it on the player controller. No, I'm doing it on the character as well. But I'm doing it on the possessed character, not on the main character. That may be a problem. But how we can do this directly without going to the player controller? Because basically he's getting the enhanced input local subsystem. Like this, right? So he's getting it from, he's getting it for this character, not for the player controller. And I don't know exactly what is the difference, so why? But this works the same, right? So if I do it on the player, or if I do it on the... I think it is probably specific to this player. Let me try this and see if it gives the same error. Yeah, it does. I don't know, I would like just to print this thing and see if this is valid, because it's empty. It's empty. It's this thing. Enable user settings. Enable user settings.
Head over to Project Settings, navigate to the Enhanced Input tab, and under the User Settings, enable User Settings Experimental. Next, we go.
He's not explaining you why.
So I'll be making this input remapping menu right here. You can remap the inputs. All right. Next up. Next up.
Yeah, also this guy is enabling it. Also this guy is enabling this. But I would like to get from the official documentation, what is it? What is this? Doesn't exist. Is this one, guys? Is this? This is solving the problem that we had, I think, because if you just work on the mapping context, right? He's not allowing you to do this. Hello, Agent 258. Oh, Jesus. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Exactly. Okay, so this register input mapping context is registering the keys into the user settings without making it immediately active in the game, right? Which is exactly what we need. Exactly what we need, because then it means that you can then, right? You can then change the value of these settings even if they are not active. Exactly. Exactly, 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 exactly. Exactly. The only thing that I don't understand fully is why it does it on the player and not, I mean on the pawn and not on the player controller. That is something that still confuses me a bit. Let me go at the beginning and see if it says... let me search for controller here. Nope, controller does not exist in this page. So it seems that it is directly into the player. It's kind of weird though, but fine. Switch pawn and possess with new key bindings. No, the new system is so much better than that. You don't have to do that anymore. So with the new input mapping context, right? You can just switch mapping context at runtime without possessing anything. So or changing pawn or anything. So is a new feature from Real Engine 5, and is the one that I'm working on right now, and it's very nice. So you just call add mapping context, okay? And you give the context. For example, in my case, I have a dice minigame, a fishing minigame, right? And these have different keys associated. So you can just add it and when you need it, right? Now, my mistake was that I was trying to add them. I mean, it was not really my mistake, but anyway, I still do. So let me just do one thing just for testing a second. So if I enable this, right? We said that this one must be enabled, okay? This one must be enabled. And you can have a default if you want, right? Yeah, exactly. But we don't want a default at the moment. We want to add them manually. And this class is only one class. Okay, so we just need to have this on, right? No. This one on. Yes, this one on. Okay. This one on. So now if we have this one turned on, my question is on my player controller, right? Do I get... So now this will not be invalid anymore, eh? This will not be invalid anymore, but or yes. No, I think now it's valid. Yeah, now it's valid. Now it's valid. But it's valid on my 5.0. It started from 5.0 and then they did some enhancements on 5.1 and 5.2. But starting from 5. Starting from 5. Or 5-1. I don't know if 5 or 5-1, but anyway, we are on 5-4, so that's fine. I don't know which release you are on, but this is pretty good actually. So let me try something else, because the problem is that I don't have the player controller as a separate class here. But in theory it should work the same. So we enable this also in our project, right? We enable this also in our project. And then here what I will do register, no, get user setting, what else? Yeah. Okay, you can do it single, you can do it multiple. So I really don't want to do this, right? I don't want to do this. I want to do this. Okay. Now, in my setting window, so this is not the way to do it then, okay? So the way to do it is to get the user settings, and then from the user settings, can I query something? I can query keys mapped to action. And this is the same. I can tell you from which version is it, because here I think in the article it says so the one that I'm using now, this mappable key is in 5.3, but so it is mappable key using enhanced input, but enhanced input was already in 5. Yeah, but the mappable key is new from 5.3. So basically now the only thing that I want to see that even if I'm not inside a fishing minigame, right? I can see the remapped key in the setting menu. Right? That is what I want to see. If this thing actually starts up. Thank you. Ah, empty. Why empty? That is not good, huh? That is not good. Well, consider that is my player controller still valid? I mean, already valid if I didn't even log in? Because here I didn't even log in. Right? I mean, in the login window, I'm not even connected to a server. So, is the... Get query key, maption key, length 0. Yeah, everything is 0. Everything is 0. But is the player controller valid or not? I think the player controller is valid. Maybe it really works only on the... Maybe it really only works on the player for now. But I think it is the solution. That is the solution of our problem. I just need to understand it and then apply it and understand if it should be. I don't understand why it cannot be on the player controller, but if it must be on the pawn, okay, we will have it somehow on the pawn, but that's pretty bad actually. It should not be. Wait, let me save this a second because I have this for tonight. Client. What? I don't have a player controller yet. Oh fuck. Seriously? So until I log in into the server, I don't have a player controller? Okay. So this will not... This will be similar to this, right? So we have quick bar key bindings are loaded when you enter the game. So this part is actually visualized only when you are then into the game. They will be the same, but the problem is that I'm not going to... which may be fine, right? Maybe a section that is available only when you are in. It's a bit weird, but it's fine. So like now my player controller should be available then. Yes, it is. Yeah, I have to log in into the game. I have to log in into the game. I mean, it's fine. That is not a big deal. But still, I think here for now will be empty, right? Because we have read that when we created the setting panel. We have read that when we loaded the setting panel. So this means that basically all the input keys will be available only when you log in into the game. I mean, it's kind of annoying, but I can live with that. It is a bit annoying. So basically the panel will not be there. I mean the wall panel. I think the wall panel. Because you know now we are able to display the values because we are using the old system, and the old system is actually saved to a save game and loaded from a save game, and so we can display it here. But if you change it, if you change it and you are not yet into the game, it is anyway working because it's setting it statically on the world project. Is not setting it on your player controller, right? So this is a major difference between the old system and the new system, I would say. Because basically this stuff is not anymore in your project settings, right? It's managed by player controller when you log in. I think they did it because you can have different settings for different people, for different profiles, right? I kind of understand that, but at the same time, that is kind of so how do we okay. Yeah, that is per player, right? It is per player. So if you have like two players playing on the same PC, right, in a like a split screen scenario, you can now have the settings for each, right? And that is probably why they did it. I'm kind of amazed that they waited Unreal Engine 5 to actually do this. So the before was actually different, but so probably the before it was all customized by the people that are, I don't know, like Tekken or... But yeah. So I should basically hide the wall grid. I should basically hide the wall grid and say that this block, well, is basically everything at this point. I mean, we can do it for now for the fishing minigame, right? But it will be for everything. It will be for everything. So everything will be on the... But it seems that it's fine on the player controller, because actually we could load it, we could access that at the player controller level, so I don't think we need to do it on the pawn. I think it's okay on the player control. I think it just needs to be an actor. But yeah, so what we are saying is that we are going to register all our mappings, right? So I'm not going to register only the fishing, but I'm going to register all our mappings. Right. So we start with the move and combat, and then I will go with the dice, and then with the fishing. So yeah, all this will be registered. Yeah, the three that we have, right? The three that we have, and we do it only client side. And then after the registration, I think the setting panel should refresh, right? So I think that the setting panel, what it's doing here is updating the selectors, but I think this update selector should be called only when we are logged in. Yeah, at the moment it's called like this, but it's not the way to do it. Now, it is enough that we are logged in into the server, but at that point, I think we can do it like we populated the shortcut menu, right? I think it's pretty much the same. So I think it's in the begin play of our character. What was the name? Was update selector. Okay, let me try like this and see what happens. So what I want to see that the fishing minigame area gets populated with the proper keys, at least the first one. I think at the moment we are only doing the first one, right? So we should see a C key in that section. So this will require a bit of rework, guys, because we need to I mean, it's not a massive one, right? So it's very, I mean, I think it's reasonable. but we will have to remap. I have to think about it, but yeah, but it is the beginning of something that we have to do anyway, so fuck. Why is empty? That is bad. That is bad. That is bad. I don't understand why. I don't understand why we didn't see it. Let me see if we got any error. Maybe we got an error on the... problem is that here. I mean, with the character login, there is so much stuff happening in the game that is impossible to... I think it's here. Update selectors, yeah. Attempted to access index 0 from an array temp struct variable of length 0. Okay. So I think that is this get, right? So it means that this is not mapped to anything. That's a bit strange. Let's do it in the sample project, because trying to do it in our project is just suicide, because every time we run it, you know, we have to wait like 2 minutes that it starts up. So let's do it on this sample. This is the sample project, right? So if I do the same thing, I mean, it's not exactly the same thing, but basically what I'm doing, I am registering, right? So I have to do this. I have to do register input mapping context, and we register our fishing, and then okay, we can print this, no problem. And then after we register, we want to read, right? So we want to query. So maybe that's not the right query key map to action, right? So like we did in our game. And I will, yeah, try to read this one, right? And here we do get 0. And from get 0, we did what? We did make input cord. I don't know if this is correct though, but make input, come on. There is also make input action key mapping. But in theory this should be good already. Can I print that somehow or not? No, I cannot. Can I break this and print the key? No. Does he has a toString or string or no display or I mean, there is a get key display name, so maybe let's do that. Okay. I want just to see if this is actually getting read or not, right? And this will be as soon as my third person BP starts up, so it should be basically when the game goes up, right? It gives the same error actually. It gives the same error. Okay. So it means that this is not the way to do it. Wait, get player mapping rows. Get current key profile. We are not using this key profile. Get player mapping rows. Yeah, which is basically what we are doing here. Which is basically what we were doing here. I get the same problem. But probably because now this is just failing, right? Probably because this is just failing. So let's remove this print out a second. User setting 3. So actually up to here is fine, but then when we do query keys map to action, get current key profile, get player mapping rows, I think that this is actually empty. Why? Yeah, 0. 0. So this does not return anything. So this does not return anything. Okay, so this is not doing anything. Okay, so let's assume that this is not working because we are on the... Oh no, we are not on the player controller. Huh? Ah, yes, yes, we do it on the player controller, right? Here we are doing it on the player controller. While this guy is doing it on the actual actor, right? So let's do it that way. So let's do it like this. And see if this is doing something different. No, still 0 mapping rows. 0 mapping rows. Why? Is this returning false for whatever reason, or? Yep, it's returning false. So this register is actually not working. Register input mapping context? Why? There is no need to register an AMC if it has already been registered. So it may return false if it's already registered. Register key mappings to profile. Attempted to register a null mapping context. Do we get any error like that? Because I don't know, it seems that it's not registering something, right? Trying to read property, get local player subsystem, none. So this is already, this is null? Oh wow. This is null. While is this okay? Yep. So this one is actually fine. So the one on the player controller is actually fine. The one on the pawn is not fine. Right? I mean, and I want it on the player controller. So to me, it's better on the player controller. But the way this guy is doing it is doing get owning player, right? And then get an answer. So he's really doing it on the player. Or not? No, he is doing it on the controller. I don't know, it's a bit weird. Sometimes he's doing stuff on the controller, sometimes he's doing stuff on the player. So it's like if he's registering on the controller and then he's reading it on the player. What? Okay, let's try that. So we register on the controller. And then we read it from the player, okay? It's a bit weird, but okay. Nah, mapping rows are still 0. I don't understand what is going on here. Get current key profile. Get current key profile. Doesn't exist. Get current key profile. Get player mapped rows. Yeah, it's the same that I do here. Yeah, it's exactly the same one I'm using here. Get current key profile. Get local player subsystem. Bro, why is not working? So annoying. I have to go though. It's 8 o'clock. See you, agent. It's not. I mean, I don't know. I don't understand this example, right? I mean, we have a video that does it, so we can maybe just review the video again. So there is a video here that does it all, right? So in theory, if the video does it, it should work, right? It seems he's doing exactly what the guide is saying. So he's registering on the player controller, right? This seems to be consistent.
Next, let's create out.
So here is on the, you see, he's on the first person player controller, right? And he's registering there the new mapping context,
Widget.
right?
Small
Then,
text. Let
okay, it's creating the
and store it
widget.
as variable. As variable.
And then here on the first person character, is doing get player controller. No, but that is not what we need. Settings, exactly. So there is the setting window, right? There is the settings window. And in the setting windows is doing... How can you do get enhanced input player local system without any input or anything, right? Without any... I mean, outside of any context, right? So it is inside a widget. So is this thing doing kind of a get local, or I mean get 0? Probably. So probably I can call this whatever I want, but it's not true because if I call it, we saw it, right? If I call it like this one is invalid. This one is invalid. This one is invalid. I mean, it's the same. So that is not going to change anything, actually. So the value is still 0. The value is still 0. Let me try to do what? Let me try to add a default mapping just for fun. The same. Mapping rows is 0. So this register fails. This register fails. Value false is always saying false. The result of this function is always false. Why? Why did it always false? I don't understand. Why this thing doesn't work? Why it should work? Fuck it. Now it's true. So with this one it is actually true. With this one it is false. Don't ask me why, but if I get the player controller, get an ANSI input, get user setting, register is true. If I do an ANSI input, user setting, register is false. So in theory now he actually registered it. But then after he registered it, right, and I do again the same thing, so I do get user setting, get current profile, get player mapped rows, right? The result is 0. Mapping rows 0. So the length of this, it is 0. So it means there are no mapped row in the current profile. So this is what I don't understand. Is it by profile or not? Because here I'm not registering by profile. This is 0. This is 0. This is 0. Everything is 0. So he registered something, but in reality didn't do shit. So he went through this, right? The result is true. Skip over non-player mappable keys. Holy shit, there is a setting that is saying which one are player mappable and which one are not player mappable. I'm gonna kill you if that's the reason. I'm gonna kill you now. Player mappable key, none. Oh fuck. Player mappable key setting, none. Why is not taking it from the... Okay, fine. Okay, now maybe it will work. So you need these two things. You need this and that enabled. Yes, now it works. Well, it works, I don't know, but it said, at least it said 1. At least it said 1. So each action needs to have this enabled. Otherwise, it's not visible. Actually, I added in my project. Okay, now let's continue on the... let me see if I can cook my dinner, and meanwhile maybe we can continue a bit. 1 second, I'm just checking my dinner and we can see if we can continue while it's cooking. While it's cooking by itself. Ha. That's the best solution. Stuff that is cooking by itself. Without me intervening. Without me doing anything. Wait. Coming back in a second. Okay, I'm back. It's cooking. It's cooking. It's kind of funny that when I put the be right back or the doing secret things, the number of viewer goes up. And then when I come back, it goes down again. It's like the tension to know what will happen. Why is doing secret things, right? So people kind of look and stay, and then when they say, "Oh, it's just programming a game," okay, they go away. Okay, so we arrived up to the point that this register works, right? And I want to say name cast line. Display name cast line. Display category, I don't know. Supported key profile. What is this? Input user settings. Supported key profile. Is this guy doing all of that and I just didn't see, or what? Is this guy doing the same
User.
and I just didn't see it, or what? No, it's not, because it's just doing this. It's doing.
Save it and go back to the content.
You see, it's not clicking here. It's not enabling player mappable key settings.
Folder.
Maybe he's
Now
doing
we
it later.
access
I
the
don't know,
IMC.
but
Or on your keyboard to get it fast selected.
he has inherited from action, right? So there's actually none. Maybe it's changing it later. I don't know. It's possible.
It's valid. From the widget, search for add viewport. The dimensions, you can put them all to fill. Let's remove the mappable key settings.
There it is.
Like
It's doing
here.
it now.
Select a name and a display name. Go
He's not doing this at the bottom.
back to the WB settings.
He's not doing that at the bottom. So he's not doing this. So let's leave it empty. Let's just give it a name and see if maybe with the name is working better. I don't know. Nah, it's still saying none. Mapping rows 1 though. Well, mapping rows 1 is promising. So this is not working. Okay. So let me skip it. Let me skip this. But it seems that this, now that it's registered, if I go back to the player controller and I go through the profile and I get this, is returning at least one value. Right? It's returning one value. But then the name I cannot see, but let me see what this guy is doing. Maybe there is another way to get it, right?
We have here setting. Now let's do it where we have C.
Huh?
For now, go to selecting key changed. From the, also create from the get a branch and connect the select key and then setting we want to find
Oh, wait a
map
second.
player key.
Did he show already that the value was
Enable
there
the
or not?
Player mappable key setting. Yeah, map it and refresh the node. User setting as the type.
Key map, break player key map. Player key mapping. Player key mapping. Yeah, player key mapping is this. Oh, sorry, this was not connected, by the way. This was not connected. Cast line, okay. Yeah, it's working now. It seems to be working now. We are getting our shit. Okay. Now, can I do it without redoing that? So can I do it staying on player controller? Now, the only problem is... let me see how he's doing that. He has this update key on W key slot.
Adam, no. Before this can work, we need to set something inside our input actions. So go ahead and click on the...
Okay, we have found map. Yeah, he's doing it a bit in pieces, right? So he's doing one piece first, another piece next, but anyway. But at least he's explaining how it works. Yeah, it goes through input chord as well. It goes through input chord as well. Okay, let me try to do it in our project then. Name fish cast line. Okay, let me do it in our project 1 second. Cast line, edit from action. Okay, this is good, right? So if now when I am in my... So we said that the register needs to happen... Player controller register. Player control register true. Okay, so this is actually working. Let me do the fishing though, eh? Okay. So this is the wrong one. This is the wrong one because we have to do instead this. Which is an absolute mess, but anyway. I think we should create a function because it's, I mean, it makes no sense to do it this way, right? Yeah, let's create a function. I mean, it's like 100 nodes that we have to replicate, so... let's create a function that is basically mapping a key, right? Map a key or display. Wait, let's do display key map. Display key map. Okay. Display key map. So display key map. We'll have to do this. Display key map, we'll have to do this. Get player mapping rows. No, but can I get one with the proper name? Because get get player mapped keys, get player mapping rows. No, it seems there is no way. So you have all the values, right? But we need one value, not all the values. I mean, we can check them by name, but bro, isn't there a better way? Key map. Yeah, he's showing that he's saving it in the save game. Because basically here he's printing all the ones that are available, right? In no particular order. While in our case, we already have one and we want to display it as needed, right? So... Boom, I lost my thing. Anyway, we are here. Make input. No, it's kind of annoying that I cannot get. I mean, there is a T map, right? So in theory, I could just find if I want, right? Yeah, exactly. I think we can do it this way. We can just find by name the one that we want, right? Where I assume that the name is the name that we put into here. The name. So this will be Fishcast, right? And we should not change it. And I don't understand exactly why I cannot go from here to there, right? But this is because this can actually be multiple, right? So a mapping, so you can have multiple keys, right? I think you can have multiple keys associated to an action, right? Oh wow, it's already 15 minutes. Holy moly. Holy moly, time flies when you're having bugs. Time really flies. Wait a second, I don't see shit. Ah. It's kind of weird. He had a kind of a weird face. I mean, the meat was a bit blobby, but I don't know. Maybe it's just because I cut it a bit blobby. Yeah, I think that's the reason. Because I cut it a bit up and down. There are so many emails about the Black Friday is insane. They want you to buy a lot of stuff. So I just want to see my key properly displayed, please. Please! No, it's not doing it. Okay. In theory here we should have a C key associated, right? But it's not doing it. Okay, it's not doing it. So let's go back to the phishing thing. So can I print out the key? Right, the key should be this default key, no, current key. Okay, this cannot be cannot break it, cannot print it, cannot do anything with it. Yeah, actually it is C. So in our example here it kind of works, actually. It does. In our example it works, which is very encouraging, right? Because actually it gave me the C key. But in our main project, okay, let's do the same. Let's do the same and we will see. It's the only solution. To understand where it's failing. I think it's not failing at the moment, probably it's just the assignment is not working. Because I think that here we will see that he has one value. I think we will see it, that he has one or more values. Also, I would like to try this. Maybe this one we do it when everything is completed. Because I want to see if we find this particular value and if we can actually print it out. I'm still a bit confused by this multiple, but I think it's okay. Can print it out the same way we do it here, right? So it's already all connected. Okay. We can try this and see. But anyway, I think we are on the right. I think we are on the right track because it is working in the sample project. So I think it will work also here. So the takeaway is that, and then I will have to go dinner now. But the takeaway is that now, let's say the settings are actually not existing anymore in the project setting default input, right, which was this. So all this one will have to go away, basically, right? But they are existing on the player controller. So you can only display them when your player is actually connected to a server, right? And is actually, yeah, connected to a server. So the settings in the login window, at least for the keys, cannot be made available. So we have to like shade that window to say set them after login, something like that, right? And which is okay, just additional complexity, right, to manage. But then after that, it seems that we can properly use the user settings separate from the, so we can use the registered keys separate from the active ones, and that is also very good, I think. So this is still empty, but let me see in the printout, because I printed a bunch of stuff and hopefully something showed up. I printed what did I print? Oh my god, I don't even know, where is it? In the settings, okay. No, I didn't call it yet. Wait, I didn't call it yet. That's why it's not working, by the way. Because I didn't call this. Yup, exactly. Yeah, exactly here. Okay, sorry. This one was not connected. So all this, oops, all this will change, right? Yeah, all this will change. Everything will change. Everything will change. But we can do it. So we have to think if we want to do it massively or if we want to do it one by one. I think that massively can also be a solution, but I think I need to then rework a bit the UI, because that get values, I think, is getting all the values that are actually valid on, right? And that is a bit scary because they may be axis, they may be anything, they may be the mouse in it. So please show me a C. Ah, finally, bro. Okay. Okay, so also in our game now this works, right? So we are able to properly get the setting that is registered but not active. Okay, fantastic. Fantastic. It works, guys. It works. I can go to dinner happy. Yeah, and my oven is calling me. My oven is calling me. Okay, guys, I think I'm going. I will see you tomorrow. Tonight I cannot stream because I'm meeting with some friends. But tomorrow at around 4 p.m., 5 p.m. Central European Time, I will be here. And we will continue this, and hopefully we will finish it, right? Well, I don't know if we can finish all tomorrow, but yeah, that I think is the goal. The goal is to finish the enhanced input conversion by tomorrow, and then finish the mini game probably by Sunday, right? That's the idea. Okay, so thank you for watching, and see you soon. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Where is my Streamlabs here? Bye. See you.